Okay. Good morning, Taylor. Please introduce yourself. Tell a little bit about yourself, your background, where do you work, and how long ago did you graduate from the George?
Yeah, thank you for having me. My name is Taylor Brown. I graduated in 2011 with a marketing degree here from the George, and I currently serve as the president of the Alumni Advisory Board. My current position is I'm the owner and digital strategist of GoToMan Marketing. It's a marketing firm based here in Spartanburg.
Is it your own company?
It is, yes.
Oh, nice.
We just celebrated our 12th anniversary.
Oh,
in
wow.
business. Yeah,
That's cool. Congratulations.
thank you.
Please describe your career journey since graduating from JCBE.
So interestingly, I started in traditional print media,
Mm-hmm.
and knew that based on trends in the industry as well as where my passions lied, I really wanted to get into the digital space. So even though I worked at a traditional media company for 3 years, I very proactively worked to get into the digital space at that job, and then found opportunities at marketing agencies, starting in Spartanburg for 3 years and then moving over to Greenville for a couple of years as well. Really emphasizing the digital opportunities with analytics and targeted advertising. And then during the pandemic, when everything seemed to kind of upend, an opportunity arose for me to take a passion project, which has been this marketing firm, and turn it into my full-time role. And I've been doing that for 3 years now.
Lovely. So having your own company was always your goal, or you just came to this like understanding that you do not want to work for some agency or some like in-house marketing department, but have your own like company?
Yeah.
How did you get to this decision?
Yeah, so I think it's always been in my bones. My dad was an entrepreneur very early on, and I remember that mindset, and that drive that I saw in him and others like him, and knew that it was something I probably wanted to get into. And as I learned at agencies, as I grew my network of fellow professionals, it just made sense to be able to offer a more hands-on approach to marketing rather than churning out results for a multitude of clients to be able to really get to know, to connect, and to kind of be in the corner of just a select few.
Okay. How hard was it to get your first job after graduation, like within marketing?
I would say it was a little bit difficult. We were coming out of the 2008
Crisis,
economic
yeah.
slump, so things were a little bit tighter. But as we were exiting that, I did find an opportunity, and it arose from an internship that turned into a growth of my professional network, knowing somebody at the company, and that's what kind of got my foot in the door at the first workplace I had.
Another evidence how internships are important for students.
Yes, absolutely. Not only the practical experience, but also just the connections that you'll make.
Yeah, I agree. Um, do you have like any interesting transitions or challenges during your career, and how did you overcome this?
I would say probably the largest transition was going full time, working for myself without the safety net of a employer's steady paychecks.
Monday, Friday, 8 to 5.
Transitioning into the you're kind of on your own, but also kind of that excitement of you're not capped by a monthly salary, that you can really pick and choose who you want to work with, and really dive headfirst into the people that you can make a difference with, and you can say no to the clients that either will be difficult to help or perhaps aren't the best fit personality wise.
Yeah. And how did you like tackle those challenges? What helped you maybe? So I realized that having your own company, it's a lot of pressure on yourself and a lot of anxiety because you're like becoming responsible for other people as well. So what helped you to deal with this?
I would say it really goes back to building and further maturing that professional network that you have, of having like-minded colleagues, of friends and coworkers that eventually turn into clients. Having that support that I've already built out through starting day one with the internship, through the other full-time jobs that I had over the prior decade before launching my own, that if I didn't have that, that it would have been much more difficult to go out on my own.
All right, thank you. What is your favorite memory or memories from your time when you were a student here at the George?
Ooh, that would be difficult to pick.
No favorite memories? Or too many of them?
Luckily, I was among the first class who actually was able to move here. I took initial business classes at the media building on the main campus. And knowing that this was being built, that eventually we would be able to come into this state-of-the-art building located right in the middle of the downtown business community, was a really exciting moment. I would say academically, that probably my senior year, and especially my entrepreneurship class, was really kind of a breakthrough moment. I hate to be cliche, but being able to see how all those foundational and underclassmen courses came together, the entrepreneurship class being able to tie in marketing with accounting with management, which I use all of them today, but being able to see how they come together and be able to take those kind of intangible skills and put it into a tangible business plan at the end of that course.
So it was like a puzzle which you could collect, and then you'll see you've seen the entire picture, how it will work together.
Yes, absolutely.
What advice would you give to current students facing similar challenges that you had on your career path? If somebody will decide, okay, I want to have my own business, so what advice would you give that person?
So I would say, don't neglect your coursework. And I would say that being able to seek application and practicality in what you learn not only helps you to retain that knowledge, but be able to turn around and leverage that in going to the workforce. So not just memorizing, certain marketing terms are ideology, but being able to say, now, how would this translate into this particular industry?
Real world,
And then not only, like I said, does it help you remember those skills for when it comes to exams or coursework, but also being able to see how you can use that down the road.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Can you share some maybe proud moment of your career?
I think it goes back to being able to
start your own business,
to launch my own business, to tell an employer who I didn't necessarily care for at the time that I would be putting in my notice and starting my own business.
Was it scary?
It was a little bit scary, not to have a huge nest egg saved up just in case, to only have a few clients starting out. But it was also exciting that it's up to me to make a difference. And again, relying on that network that I've built to kind of be there for me, to give me referrals, which is where most of my business comes from, is word of mouth referrals. And to be able to kind of help me through, to coach me, to motivate me through the process.
Yeah, I actually admire people who start their own business, because I realize how stressful is this, especially when you just taking this first step forward this direction. What advice? Okay, how did your time at JCBE prepare you for your career? Maybe you gained some crucial skills or some knowledge. Maybe network was the major turning point.
Yeah, I would say not only the coursework. I think that we have a strong business program here, which is accredited. But the smaller network of a smaller school, that you have the ability to network with professors, to really
Personal approach.
Yeah, a personal approach to be able to partner with some of the resources and the specialists that we have here in crafting resumes to preparing for internships, interviewing, that you don't necessarily have on that scale at a larger school.
Yeah, yeah. And I've seen examples of people who graduated from big business schools, and they hear listen my experience, and they so surprised that we have such a personal approach. You can literally have build a relationship with professors because they do care about you, and they didn't have anything like that in their big universities, which is kind of cool. It benefit our school very much, I think.
Yes, and even 13 years after I've graduated now, I still run into professors out and about in the community at fundraising events, at restaurants, who know my name, who know what I'm doing, who make active referrals to my business that you just wouldn't have when a professor is churning out hundreds of students a semester.
Yeah, exactly. What advice would you give our current students about making the most of their time at JCBE? So how they can get the maximum of this experience?
Yeah, focusing on the coursework, not neglecting that.
Study
Also,
hard.
obviously study hard, but there are opportunities outside the classroom as well. Any type of student associations that you can get involved with, opportunities to volunteer, to do internships outside the classroom as well, help to balance that academic knowledge and ideas with real world application. And not only at school, but also transitioning into your young professional career, looking at opportunities just to say yes to things, to take on additional work, to participate in additional groups, rather than strictly saying that's not my role and being kind of pigeonholed. You don't want to take on too much work and do other people's work, but at the same time, opportunities to learn from other professionals, to just get in as many projects as you can, to really build that knowledge is important.
Okay. And how they can get ready for the ever-changing job market, especially now when the job market is going down, literally. How they can. So, what would you advise them?
Yeah, for students who are graduating, looking at making that big transition, definitely pursuing internships. I know that that's a topic that's addressed a lot, and we've spoken about it a lot already. But being able to make those connections early, that a lot of jobs do come from those initial internships, either at the place that you intern, or perhaps at someone they know, or just being able to show that you have some experience before you
Let it a real-time job.
before you go into the full-time job. Again, seeking application in what you learn. So rather than coming out with a piece of paper, being able to know how to, boots on the ground, start on day one and be able to make an impact for the place that you're seeking to work.
Definitely. What are three things students should keep in mind to be successful in the transition from college to their first real job?
Yeah. So in transitioning to that first job, I would say, not only internships, which is, kind of for granted that it's a big thing, that, approaching the resume creation, building a professional resume using the tools available here at the school,
we have a lot.
Are perhaps free platforms like Grammarly, just to make sure that you don't have any typos on that first resume. And then when you approach interviewing, if you are able to put those pieces together to get you to that step with a company, being able to approach it in a relational, personal way, that seems approachable to the recruiter or the hiring manager, not coming off as impersonal to robotic, someone that they would remember, somebody that they would want to work with. Obviously, you don't want to come in and slouch down and use slang or anything like that, but just kind of being yourself, being a little natural, relaxed, goes a long way.
Yeah, because you can tell it as a business owner, you definitely hire people, and this is probably that approach that you use when you like seeking for candidates for some roles in your company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, other board members have made the metaphor, and I would repeat it. It's definitely not mine. I'm stealing and paraphrasing, but interviewing is kind of like dating. That you want to see, is this someone that I can be around every day? Is it somebody that I think could contribute to the mutual relationship, quote unquote, um, and looking for potential red flags, making sure that the resume doesn't have any typos, that things that they're posting on social are just anything outside of that interview process is also buttoned up in the way you want to present yourself to the world.
Okay. And what skills or qualities do you think are most important for success in business world today?
That's a big one. Not only
We're not rushing.
not only the hard or the technical skills, which are obviously important to fulfill a job position, but I think something that really goes a long way in career longevity, and being able to navigate economic upticks and downturns is those soft skills. Being able to connect with other individuals, being able to take technical data and be able to present in a conversation or a narrative, and then adaptability, being able to kind of head on a swivel, be able to roll with the punches, that if AI essentially takes over one aspect of your job, that you're able to take advantage of AI and be able to use it to your benefit, or that perhaps if that's a role that's kind of going by the wayside, that you're able to quickly adapt into something else that's in high demand in the workforce.
As marketer, what do you think the most crucial skills for recent grads who seeking job opportunities in marketing? What must have for marketing majors?
Upon graduation, I would say the general skills, that being able to move from one role to the other because you may want to work in social media or analytics, or a different role, but that job may not be available right off the bat. Just like I knew that I probably wanted to get into digital early on, but that job just wasn't available at that time. And being able to
ready for those transitions,
being able to intentionally and proactively make that a reality, even though it might not be an opportunity at the immediate time.
okay.
So I would say those general skills, but also
maybe some soft skills.
The soft skills, definitely, like I had mentioned, of being able to take data or something technical and being able to present it to either your boss or a client, which goes a long way, rather than reading off a report and sounding scripted, but being able to analyze and pick out key data points, or key value in what you're trying to present. If you're trying to advocate for a campaign or for a new tool that you think would assist your job, being able to show that value, I think, goes a long way. In that initial entrance into the workforce.
Okay. What advice would you give yourself when you were back in the George, like at that age?
I would have plugged in more to other opportunities. I was working pretty much a full-time job most of my college career, and attending courses, and extracurricular activities. I didn't really plug in as much as I had the opportunity to, and even though I'm pretty satisfied with my career path and where I am now, that I think it could have maybe accelerated or enhanced had I taken advantage of more opportunities while I was here.
Thank you. And what would you wish our students in upcoming academic year?
Success, being able to not only navigate their coursework well, but also being able to turn around and use that in a way that benefits them down the road, their holistic well-being, their economic states, um, being able not only to graduate or advance to the next year, but being able to find that value in what they're learning as soon as possible.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I think this was lovely. This is all questions I have for you.
Okay.
And thank you for your time.
Yeah, absolutely.